Hello, and thanks, Matt, for an awesome overview of Agile. I used to consult corporations back in the day. I'm glad I got out of that business. It seems that secret's out. So instead of that, I'm talking about this, how to scale your products globally. Any of you been or are currently working on international expansion? Oh, a few. Awesome. Anybody thinking of doing it in the near or far future? Okay, a few. Anybody been putting it off for a while already and kind of thinking you should do it but don't know where to start? Okay, awesome. 1%, good. So yeah, I've been at TransferWise for about 5 years. Started off doing only international expansion for the first 3. And then the rest of the time I've been a head of product there, and so I'll talk to you a little bit about what we've done and what is the stuff we've learned along the way. So this one. So when I started, we were just basically a small company working between GBP and Euro and a couple of other countries as well, but mostly quite small. And now we're basically pretty much all over the world. And in addition to our send money product, we also have launched our own account details here and there, our own debit cards. And so now, so it's been a busy 5 years. And yeah, I'll talk to you about some of the more exciting examples that we've had. But to begin with, maybe just to start thinking, okay, so you've done something in let's say in the UK, and you're thinking, okay, so what if there's more new users or more revenue, more profits, more business elsewhere as well, and then how to literally go about that, how to choose your next market, and then what I did was that I started Googling for stuff. And like, okay, so international money movements. Okay, Googling data about international money movements. Boom, and you get World Bank data. And World Bank literally has an Excel file you can download from their webpage, which pretty much says all the business and also like non-business remittance flows around the world. Like you have so much flowing from GBP to Euro, from Euro to Pakistan, from Pakistan to Australia. So it's like, boom, gold mine. I'll just sort by volume. Okay, here we go. Have this list. Boom, let's do that. And I think we singled out some bigger potential routes. I think there was like a lot of money going into the Philippines from US and UK and Eurozone as well. And launched it. Took a good few months to get there, and we were expecting, of course, the World Bank data said the potential is like billions. Yeah? So launched it, hoping to get billions. Didn't get billions. Didn't even get millions. We got thousands, a couple of them. And I was like, okay, so something really wrong with this picture. Like, why are we getting thousands? Like, the World Bank data said that there's like massive amounts of business to be had here. We open it up, there's no customers. What is happening here? And then we quickly figured out that actually we need to understand actually our customers. Like, what are they actually asking from us, or where do they actually want us to expand to? And then we came up with something like this, which is basically, we started asking our customers. So if you go to transferwise.com, you'll see a drop-down. You can select the country or currency you want to send money from, and then the currency you want to send money to. And then if you don't see your currency there, you have like other. And if you click on that, you will see this one, which is basically you can make a wish for a currency. And we launched it, and we're thinking, okay, maybe a couple of people will enter their email addresses, and then we'll start to see some folks showing interest in sending money globally. But then as soon as we launched it, we saw that we literally started to get thousands and thousands of those wishes. People who were like wishing to send money all over the world. And that gave us like a very good idea of where actually already people who are already our customers or would like to be our customers but cannot be our customers right now because of limitations in our product. And then we basically scrapped the previous stuff we had, redid our plans based on the numbers of those wishes and where our customers actually, or potential customers wanted to send money with us. And then we really started to see some very awesome traction as well. We launched countries. We emailed everybody in the wish list, like, okay, we launched it now, and we literally started to see very, very awesome growth. So I think the moral, or like the point that we quickly understood is that all the micro and the macroeconomical data that's available everywhere doesn't really mean anything that much, and you have to like understand where your own customers actually want you to go to, and how they want to use you, and then if you actually manage to fulfill those wishes as well, you'll get some pretty awesome results. And then talking about a few of the adventures we've had, I'll talk about this graph a little bit. Most of your product managers, I think you should love graphs. So I have this graph here. And so this graph, so the blue bar, this one, shows that pretty much the amount of customer wishes we had before launch, yes? And then the other ones, the orange, gray, and yellow, these are the ones who show new users on months 1, 2, and 3 after launch. Okay? Awesome. And so basically, I'll walk you through a few scenarios where we had a lot of customer demand, like Colombia, and we launched and didn't really get anywhere. Where we had another couple of cases where we had like Japan, where we had so-and-so demand, but basically all the economical data was showing us that it should be massive, but it wasn't. And then a couple of pretty awesome success stories as well that we've had. So what happened in Colombia? Long story short, turns out if you have a lot of demand and you launch a really shit product, you're not going to get any results. So it took us a good 6 to 9 months to figure that out. And I think also we discovered a lot of communicational issues and misunderstandings led us to a place where we were communicating with this partner in Colombia and say, okay, so I think we kind of understood the files that you want from us, so we're good to go. And they were like, okay, so yes. And then we opened it up. Customers sent us the money, and we wanted to send it out to Colombia. And then we put together a file, sent it to the partner, and the partner was like, okay, so yes, you sent us this file, but where's the other one? And I was like, oh, the other one. Didn't mention the other one. I was like, yeah, the one where you have like this Excel file for every recipient in Colombia. You need to have like these 20 attributes filled plus a thumbprint. I was like, ooh. Okay, I didn't have that one. And turns out like people don't like to submit their thumbprints anywhere, basically, nor answer really personal and invasive questions. Especially if it's about people they're sending money to. So it's not even about them. But because of a guy who used to live in Colombia who did like some stuff, it was a show about it, yes. So because of that guy, the laws in that country they were a bit sensitive in that area. So anyway, so what we did was, and then actually this was a product that actually at some point we saw that it was causing so much pain for the customers. Like we were, of course, like being very optimistic people. Most product managers noticed are unusually, even disturbingly optimistic. But so what we discovered at some point we discovered that we cannot fix this. So we actually had to close it down, which is unfortunate because we had a lot of demand. We also then quickly figured out why we had a lot of demand. But yeah, and then actually I think we closed it down already a couple of years ago, and then to this day we're still trying to figure out a good solution. Hopefully we'll get there next year. So Japan was something that we launched still believing in the World Bank data, and believing that Japan, like I think then it was the third biggest economy in the world. Now it's not anymore. But and then we were basically launched Japan. I think it was like 3-4 years ago, hoping to get some pretty serious money movements. But then because the number of wishes was so tiny, although Japan's a huge country economically as well, we just didn't see any traction from there at all. And Singapore was actually even a more interesting one, together with New Zealand. So these are both like examples of where we first launched, again, a pretty shitty product. In Singapore, that was actually the first one of our country launches where prior to launch we had to lease a small office, and there was one guy there who had to also be included into the online money sending process. So, which made it slightly offline. But so how it works is the customer could set up the payment online, then he had to go into that office, show his passport or her passport. Then Jack, who was the first guy there, would press a button in the system, and boom, the online transfer could continue after this slight offline moment was over. But then, and also like a lot of customers didn't want it. They were like, expecting TransferWise to be a fully online service. They log in, they sign up, they log in, they set up the transfer, boom, it's gone. But it wasn't. And so there we were like quite a lot working with a local regulator to get rid of this demand, explaining them how online KYC or Know Your Customer is very efficient as well. And then after we got rid of the, after we closed down Jack and his office, then and then became a fully online service, also like our customer numbers were like clearly starting to increase. Same for New Zealand. We opened it up, and then also there was a slight a slight offline moment in the process. So you could set up your transfer, but then we had to verify your identity, and for that you had to send us a copy of your passport or driver's license. But it was not only enough to have that copy. You had to get that copy signed by a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, a judge, or a Maori village chief, and there was a couple of other ones. So anyway, so you get that done, boom, you can go back online, beautiful, works. And also like not a lot of people liked it, but then also we were working very hard with some verification partners over in New Zealand, also with the regulators, and we managed to get rid of that step, and then also we saw like some pretty awesome growth. And then we got to Australia and Brazil. So Australia was something that we didn't really know what are we going to get from there. We were seeing that we have a pretty reasonable amount of wishes, and then what we quickly saw that was that we launched it, and then that was something that just was starting to blow up way beyond our expectations, and I think like majorly it was just because we managed to actually launch a good product that had a good price. It was quite fast, and there were no offline elements or Maori village chiefs involved. You could just get online verified, complete the transfer, and you're done. And then Brazil happened, which was something that Brazilian product managers here. Anyone? None. That's very interesting. But still, we love Brazilians. So what happened there was basically there was almost nothing else in the market. There were some banks who were offering sending money out of Brazil, but that was pretty much it. And we managed to find a way how to do it ourselves as well. And we launched our product. And I think that was something that something that met like pretty much, there was no competition. We were literally like 10 times more than 10 times better than anything else in the market, and add an element of Samba in there as well. And then we literally started to see some random videos popping up on YouTube who we had nothing to do with these people, like explaining them in Brazilian Portuguese, like why TransferWise is awesome, why you should use it. Like it just went completely viral. And that was basically a situation where you have like almost perfect product market fit. Yeah. Cool. And then also how we did this localization from country to country. I think mostly it means that it's not just enough you translate your product and boom, you launch it in another market and everything works well. Mostly you have to really understand that market, you have to understand the customers in that market, and then you have to make changes accordingly. So to illustrate that point, I'll show you this one. So at some point, this guy, Richard, decided to invest some money into TransferWise. And we were like, awesome, boom. Everybody knows Richard. We'll just put Richard's face on our landing page as a trust symbol. So everybody will be like, oh, Richard put money in there. Richard trusted these guys. Like we should also, yeah, I'll trust these guys. It's fine. And then it worked really well in the UK. It worked really well in Australia. Americans were a bit like, oh, okay, fine, yeah. But then, so we saw actual conversion uplift from landing page to sign up. We saw a pretty decent uplift in most of these countries. But then the conversion in Germany went down. I was like, oh, okay, right. They don't like the Richard. And I was like, okay. We got hold of a bunch of German customers like, oh, what happened? Why you don't like the Richard? And it's like, yeah, Richard, he surfed with the naked ladies, and we're not a big fan of that one. We want to trust our money with somebody who would be less of a maverick. And then it was like, oh, okay, get rid of Richard in Germany. And then it was like, okay, so what is the equivalent of Richard in Germany? And we're really trying to like rack our brains. And I was like, okay, so how do we understand this? And then quickly we came to this one. Which is basically a government institution in Germany can issue you this badge of quality. You have to go through a small audit. They will come to your office. They will look, okay, you're a real business. You have customer support. You have some operations running. And then they go back to Germany. They think about it for a couple of months. And then they, boom, email you. It's like, boom, you can put this on your website. Put it on our website in Germany on our landing page. Biggest conversion change ever. Like literally, I think it was best after launching Brazil. So literally we saw that after we put this there, I think there was like more than a 10% absolute number conversion from people who went to the landing page to the ones who actually completed the transfer with us. So basically really powerful, a very small thing, highly localized, but still you have to figure these things out and think through like what is your Richard and what is your Duv. Awesome. And then we have marketing. I'll quickly talk about marketing. This one is basically a very easy place to burn a bunch of money. This is Australian dollars, mainly because Australia was one of the few places where at some point we decided that we can and should be doing TV marketing, and we blew through a bunch of Australian dollars, and that was a big mistake. We're never going to do that again. But the main problem was that the product was not ready. So meaning that if you launch a product in a new market, it's really easy. Okay, it's out there. You know, we should market it. Like get some Facebook campaigns going on, maybe even do some subway ads, radio, whatever it is. But then. First of all, it was like super important for us to understand, do we have actually word of mouth growth already happening? Like, so basically, which means that is our product good enough already or not? You can measure the NPS, for example, conversion, just reach out to customers, see what are your acquisition channels. But mostly, we saw that the most efficient time to start investing anything into some marketing was literally when you see that your product is already good enough that it's growing by at least like 10% month on month. and then you can kind of like add some marketing money to grow further. But if you invest already in the beginning and blow through your marketing budget while your product is still, let's say, shit, then you will not get very far. And so that's why we were always like, I think it took us like usually 5, 6 or even more months. In Colombia, we never got there when we actually when we switch on the marketing because we see that our product economics and also the word-of-mouth driven growth is already there. So thank you very much. That was me talking about international expansion. I hope you got some good hints out of it. And then, yeah, if you want to ask something more about international expansion, then you can also send me an email. I'll be happy to talk about it. Thank you.